Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm JMO76 and this is the Gaming Nation, and today we're looking again at Madden 23. Bizarro Madden 23. Last edition we Super Sim 10 seasons in advance to see what Josh McDaniels could do for the Raiders. And so we're going to take a bit of a deeper look at that today, looking into the team that he has assembled and see if we can have a Super Bowl run. So, starting right off here, let's look at franchise staff. In terms of our talent tree, McDaniels has maxed out his talent tree. So our head coach in 10 years has done everything needed in terms of his skill set. Very nicely done, coach. How about our offensive coordinator? All right, so our offensive coordinator also fully maxed out. Our defensive coordinator, fully maxed out. In terms of coaching, we have an excellent staff. Clearly, all these guys have been together a long time, so they are definitely going to have what it takes to put together a run this year. Player personnel, well, in terms of trades, also maxed out. But interestingly enough, we do not have anything in contracts, and we do have 403 franchise points. So why don't we start that process? So we're going to max out. To start, we're going to max out our hometown discount. So just like that, we've got that full. Now, in terms of what do we want to look at for re-signing or free agency, we have free safeties, we have offensive linemen, we have the defensive line. Well, always have to go with the line because it's such a key position. So I definitely want to max that one out. And we still do have the ability to look at the other ones. In terms of backfield vision, do I want the halfbacks and fullbacks signing through free agency? Do I want linebackers? Or am I looking at scheme fits? Well, I love the scheme fits, so I think I have to go back up and I'm going to have to unlock this one here just because I definitely want to get access to the scheme fits because that is a big part of the game. So we will unlock that. We still have 275 franchise points, so we're doing really well there. Okay, so moving farther down, blanket coverage, looking at the cornerback signings for free agency or potentially wide receivers. Well, I'm an offensive guy, but I always have to go defense when it counts. So I really want to be able to get this one down. So let's load up here. We'll get our backfield vision done, and that will unlock for us our blanket coverage. So we definitely want that one, and we're going to go full in. All right, and now that opens up quarterback whisper, getting a quarterback signed through free agency. Perfect. We get that fully maxed out. Still have 163 points. And the unlocker. Unlock one player in re-signing who is not interested. That is the most important part for sure. So there are no players who fit that talent criteria. All right. Well, I guess we can look at that for another day. So we still have more points. So we could potentially completely unlock everything here. I think that that's actually quite realistic. Let's find out if that actually happens. This tells you a little bit in terms of Madden dynamics and just how the game is created in terms of the talent tree and the skill points and how that all works. Yeah, so we've got 67 points left. Everything's been unlocked. And we can't actually do anything with the unlocker because we don't have anyone who's uninterested. But later on in the season, we may. So, again, as a review, completely done. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, player personnel. We are at 100%. All right, so from a coaching standpoint, this team is stacked. What does this team look like in terms of players, who we have in the building, the talent that we have? And so we're going to take a quick look at that right now. Let's go into the roster and see what we have. All right, so let's see here. So in terms of our situation for our roster, we have a quarterback, Jack Gallery. Now, it looked, based on what we saw yesterday, pretty solid player. So let's go into this a little more here. He's 27, 91 overall. He looks like he's got some solid skills. Why don't we check out the player card here? Oh, he is a superstar X Factor. An X Factor. That is awesome. So we got a really, really nice player here. Why don't we take a quick look here, see any motivations or tags? Well, he is a franchise quarterback, that's for sure. He loves the no income tax in Nevada. The only thing that we don't actually do for him is location. He's a Kentucky boy. In terms of abilities, all right, so he has the superstar X Factor ability. He has the superstar abilities, the Truz. Okay, so this is our guy. This is definitely our guy. We're going to be running with him this year, and I have no doubt that he is going to be a monster on the field. It's interesting, though. He's not a captain. That's very interesting. I would have figured he would be. Why don't we take a quick look here just to see how long we've had Jack Gallery for. Okay, interesting. So we signed Jack Gallery 2027, so he's been with us for 5 years. Those are solid, solid numbers. Every season we're talking mid to high 4,000 plus passing yards. On average, probably about 30 touchdowns per campaign. And in terms of the interceptions, that first season was a little tough at 18, but that's a pretty solid ratio in terms of touchdowns to interceptions. So Jack Gallery is our man in terms of quarterback. Now, in terms of our backup, Eric Hurley, he's a rookie. Okay, so he's an early development type of guy, and we'll have to watch his progress, see what's happening there. I'm really excited about our halfback situation. We have Dejon Cobb. Guy looks like a monster in terms of stats. We have a solid backup in Trent Clark. And we've got the rookie, John Streets. And he's got some nice looking stats there. So that looks like a really, really nice team in terms of our running backs. Let's take a quick look here just to Cobb and see what type of numbers he has and what he's all about. So Dejon Cobb, very nice. Another superstar X Factor. In terms of the offensive line, in terms of the offense, that is a beautiful combo. X Factor at quarterback, X Factor at running back. And so he's elusive, power back. He looks like he's going to be our guy. Let's see here. Not a captain as well. It's interesting. In terms of him, for his overall, his health is pretty good. Motivations, warm weather. Again, the close to home doesn't do it, but everything else basically fits the bill. And what about abilities? Oh, so he is a first one free. That is awesome. So we know that the fake out, the juke, the spin, the hurdle, it's going to be his moves. And that is going to be awesome to see. I'm curious in terms of his history, what type of numbers he's had. So let's take a quick look here at stats and contracts. Oh my goodness, he has only been with us for 3 seasons, and look at that. He has not been the premier back. So we have got an X Factor superstar. He has not been on the field. Unless, of course, there was injury there, which could be the case. But in his 3 seasons, he has not had more than 20 carries combined. That is absolutely fascinating. Let's see here, just in terms of just in terms of contract. So yeah, he has one year remaining on his deal. I'm amazed by that. He was a 5th round pick in 2029. The guy is an X Factor superstar. Okay, well, Dejon Cobb, this is going to be your year. This is going to be a monster campaign for you. I have no doubt on that. So really looking forward to seeing what Dejon Cobb can do. Trent Clark. Let's see here. I wonder if you have been with the team here for a while, or what's happening with that. So, okay, so same thing. So he's been with the team for 3 years. Doesn't look like he was a starter, just based on those numbers. It looks like we've lost whoever our starter was last year. It looks like we've lost that person. So we're going to have Trent Clark, and he's going to be in a battle. He's definitely going to be in a battle with the rookie, John Streets. So I'm thinking really, really good things here for John Streets. So for John Streets, okay, so we know that he's going to have some nice skills because he does have the hidden trait. So I'm very excited about that. Now he's a 74 overall right now, which may not look impressive right away, but he has got the hidden trait, so there's going to be something special there. Let's see here. When did we'll look here when we drafted him in a second, but let's see here. Motivations and tags, future starter. Yeah, so chances are this year he's going to be hitting the field quite a bit, and he's probably going to end up second in the rotation. So I'm really interested to see what he brings to the table. In terms of his speed and acceleration, that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to get him on the field, no doubt about that. So let's see here. When was he drafted? Sorry, obviously I know when he was drafted. He was drafted this year, but when specifically, what round was he drafted in? Let's see here. Okay, so he's got 4 years on his deal. He was the second round pick. So that, okay, pick 26 in the second round. Wow, Raiders are getting excellent value here in terms of running backs and the rounds that they've been picked. So that's awesome. So in terms of our quarterback, we are blessed with an amazing quarterback. We've got a deep running back core here, and really, I'm thinking that Trent Clark's going to be in the fight for his life with John Streets for that backup role behind Dejon Cobb, who's going to be a monster, absolute monster this year. In terms of fullback, not surprised there. It doesn't look like we're running with a fullback at all. That could be Dejon Streets on those times where we do need a fullback out there. And for our wide receivers, that's interesting. So Brian Edwards, been around for 12 years, was a Raider, and then I'm assuming he wasn't a Raider the whole time, but he was a Raider, went off, and looks like he's come back to spend some time with us in our career here. So he's 33, 84 overall. And so right now he's probably looking at number 1 spot. That's sad though. Oh, this guy, Deshaun Drummond. Look at this. What a speedster. 96 speed. 96 speed. His catching abilities are a little bit lower than Brian Edwards, a little bit lower, but man, he looks like a monster. So I'm really excited about that. And Rudy Coleman is going to likely be our slot guy. He's fairly new. Now, we could potentially look at some upgrades there, perhaps too. We could look at maybe moving Edwards if need be. Because again, if we could find the right person for that, send him out, bring someone else in a little bit younger, maybe a little bit faster, might be the way to go. But that is a possibility for sure. Now, in terms of our tight end, John Burrell. A little bit about John Burrell. What do I know here about John Burrell? So, I'm not really sure here. We don't have any player tags. So it looks like, for the most part, just a solid player overall. 19th ranked tight end. So we'll have to see what he does for us this season. Now, in terms of our offensive line, just to go through it very quickly, absolutely solid left tackle. That's outstanding. George Callaway is going to hold that position down very nicely. Our left guard, Dante Brazil, very nice. That is a strong position. That left side, we are definitely going to be running the ball a lot on the left side. Our center, Trey Brown, the youngster, year 2. He's an 81 overall. Looks very solid there. And Miguel Sierra, also a pretty young guy. Looks like a very solid backup. So in terms of right guard, Clarence Price, 5 years in. Also really strong player, 82 overall. Really excited about that. And our right tackle, Matthew Peterson. He's 31. He's been playing for 8 years. Again, a solid overall there. So in terms of the offensive line, we are absolutely stacked there. I'm really excited about that. Our defensive line, let's do a little bit of a quicker round through here. So looking pretty good in terms of the left end. We do a lot of 3-4 in terms of this. So we're going to have to look into some player rotations and swaps and see what we can do here so we can get Gordon Peters in a little bit more. In terms of our right end, Ty Knight, okay, we could potentially look at a little bit of an upgrade there, but that is a big cap hit there. We'd have a penalty if we wanted to move on from Ty Knight. Definitely in terms of our backup, not as strong there. Defensive tackle, well, Wesovich looks like a beast. I really like that. Chad McClendon also looks really strong. And again, we do play a lot of 3-4. So Wesovich is a nose tackle there. Looks like our guy, but McClendon's definitely going to get into the lineup when we're running those 4-3 sets. I love seeing Max Crosby still on the field. That's just absolutely awesome. Glad to see that. And in terms of middle linebacker, little bit weak here. So we do have Noah Robertson, who's is in his first season. Also Russell Bates, younger guy. And that's an area I think definitely if we're running a 3-4 for a lot of our sets, we need to make an improvement there. So we can look at that in areas to grow. Our right linebacker, Lucas McKinney, looks pretty solid. No backup there. We might need to look into another linebacker on the right side, but that we'll have to see how that goes. Now this is concerning. This is definitely concerning. In terms of cornerbacks, we only have four cornerbacks, and not particularly strong. After Duke Davis, Danny Duke and Jalen Davis. So AJ Ross, young guy, he's 71, but we're going to need to have some depth there. So that's definitely going to be our first move in terms of looking at player acquisitions. And our full safety looks pretty good for the most part. Tony Miller is a superstar. He was a day one starter. He looks solid there. I'm not at all worried about full safeties. In terms of strong safeties, not as much. We're actually running with four of them. Malcolm Shelby is a 74, but he is a rookie. Let's take a quick look here. Let's see okay, so we've got another hidden development here, Malcolm Shelby. So I'm thinking that's going to be a good thing for us. He's got some decent speed, some decent pursuit. Definitely going to have to work on a few things there. Man coverage is pretty good, which is good. Play recognition and zone definitely need some improvement. And in terms of motivations and tags, he's a day one starter. So I can definitely see that. But I am a little bit worried about that, just in terms of the position. I'm not sure what we're going to get there, so we may have some growing pains with that, but definitely we're going to let the kid start and see what we can do. So definitely looking forward to seeing what he can do on the field. And in terms of our kicker, we have JP Pemberton, 33-year-old. All right, and it's a kicker. And our punter, Davis Lynch, 9 years in, looks fairly solid. We're not going to take any more time on there. In terms of draft picks, we've got all of our draft picks for this year. So we haven't traded anything away, so that's nice. Being a Raiders fan, you never know how many draft picks you're really going to get from year to year. So pretty excited to see we've got all of those, including a first round pick for next season. So now looking here quickly at our roster, we do have a lot of space there in terms of the numbers of players that we have. So we've only got 60 signed right now in terms of the preseason. So we may look at bringing a few people in for some competition. But also just very quickly looking here, is there a need for some free agents? Well, definitely in some areas. I think we can do that. So looking here very quickly, just in, let's say, at the top 10 or so players that are out there, we could bring in Jesse Bates as a mentor in terms of full safety. That's a possibility. I don't think we need it because it looks like we got a pretty strong full safety right now, but we could look at that. You know what? I'm not seeing a lot just based on a really quick look here. of anything that would actually serve us in terms of needs. But I am curious in terms of our cornerback position. So anything we can do there? Um, so Joseph Smith, all right. Sherwin Carson. So we do have some possibilities. John Shelton is a fit there in terms of our scheme. So that's a possibility. He has the speed. I really like that. And we've got Juan Sheffield, who's also a strong fit. So you know what? I'm just going to take a quick look here, and I think between the two of them, this may be the way to go here, just in terms of, there's no player tags, but just in terms of what we have. So speed is really good, acceleration is good, change of direction, both really strong for each of them. Strength, awareness is a little bit stronger for Sheffield. Play recognition, man coverage, zone coverage. Well, you know what? Shelton's a little bit weaker in the zone, sorry, in the man coverage, but a little bit stronger in the zone. But overall, I think what we're actually going to do is we have the space. So let's bring in Juan Sheffield. So we're going to sign him to the active roster, and just a 1-year deal. But we're going to bring him in. We're going to bring him in to compete, and ultimately that gives us a little bit more. Now we're going to need to go out and we're going to need to find a little bit more cornerback depth, but that is for another day. So thanks everyone for joining me again today here and looking into this bizarro Madden 23 world where we have super simmed forward 10 years to see the Raiders and McDaniels. We are now at the point where we're going to begin building our roster, getting ready for the preseason, and getting into action. So I really hope that you're going to join us on this adventure. I am really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that you'll enjoy it as well. So thank you again, everyone, for coming out. Really appreciate it. And have yourselves a wonderful day. And if you like the content, please, please, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. See you later.